I'm actually kind of glad that that one of our smart marks is in the audience, because even though this is a no holds barred podcast, we're actually going to take a second and talk a little bit of wrestling. And the reason that we're going to do that is we have a pay-per-view tomorrow.
We do.
And it was like, well, okay, so what are we going to do? Are we going to do a last fan standing just because we have a pay-per-view tomorrow when it's not even a major pay-per-view? You know what I mean? Or are we just going to toss it in? So fuck it. On this episode, we're going to toss it in. It's like the original episodes of No Holds Barred, where it was like half wrestling, half other stuff. So you know what? We're going to talk a little bit of wrestling. We got WWE Battleground coming up tomorrow night. And not a lot of fanfare about it. Most people didn't even really know when it was going to start,
right?
Or like when the pay-per-view was. Like I didn't, and then I realized, holy shit! As I was watching Raw, I realized this is the go home show for the next pay-per-view.
Yeah,
like this seems kind of crazy. So I'm just going to take a second here and pull up the actual card so we can take a peek at it. In the meantime, Nick is going to either talk or sing to you.
I can talk. I want to go back to actually Raw before we get into the pay-per-view, because something happened on Raw that I really, really, really enjoyed. Okay. Now, I'm going to get into first the match between CM Punk and Big E.
Okay.
Which was a really good match, and one thing I liked, and one thing I downloaded and watched again, is when CM Punk picked Big E up
right,
and gave him the go to sleep.
Right.
Now, if you slow that down, he really connects good with Big E. There was Big E goes down and his head and knee just connect, and you just see that look on Big E's face, like what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, like holy shit.
yeah.
It looked like it was pretty stiff.
Yeah,
it definitely did.
And I loved that. And just moving on in the show when Paul Heyman was out.
Right.
And CM Punk came down through the crowd and jumped the barricade and kind of looked like his
looked like he
buckled.
fucked his knee up. Yeah.
And just that was awesome.
Yeah, even the jaded fan is just like, he might have actually, because they almost looked like, and they sold it really well, because they almost looked like they're like, that wasn't supposed to happen. But then, of course, it comes out that like, no, he was just playing possum and he got him. And I was like, that was fucking great.
And friggin' took out Paul Heyman's legs. And, oh, man. Just like, good writing.
Yeah,
Bravo.
just very good.
Just
and I think more of that is reflected in the talent that's doing it, because the talent that's involved in that, Paul Heyman, CM Punk, they don't need a whole heck of a lot of direction, because they can probably do it better than any of the writers can say, okay, you're going to go out there and you're going to do this. Well, they can do it better than the writers are going to tell them how to do it.
Oh,
so
for sure.
There's some talents where you can't say that, but with CM Punk and Paul Heyman, I think you absolutely can. Cody just posted a comment there. Did you guys see when WWE fucked up on Facebook last night and posted a link to the Dolph Ziggler pre-show match?
Did they?
No, I didn't see that. Was that so like is that match on the pre-show, is that pre-recorded? Is that what you were saying? Like they posted the link to the match that was already done? Like is all that shit pre-recorded, or
that would be weird.
That would be kind of weird, wouldn't it?
I mean, normally they do something before the show, though.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So I'm just wondering if the fucking match itself is actually pre-recorded. So maybe Cody will be able to answer that for us.
I don't know. Let's get into the match list, shall we?
Yeah,
or the card, as they call it in professional wrestling.
Exactly. We're not going to spend as much time on this as we would with a regular Last Fan Standing, because we're already 22 minutes in. So we'll start with the match, of course, that's going to kick off Battleground, which is Dolph Ziggler versus Damien Sandow. Just a regular singles match. And I had a conversation with our buddy Tyler about this, like, was we were kind of talking about the card, and we were just like, we look at the pre-show match, and WWE does this with relative frequency. they'll put two guys in a match, like either early on a card or in this case on the kickoff on the pre-show,
Right.
where it's like if either one of these guys loses this match, it looks terrible on them.
Oh, for sure.
Because you've got Dolph Ziggler, who just like 2 months ago or 3 months ago or whatever, had the fucking World Heavyweight title, and you have Damian Sandow, who's got Money in the Bank.
Right.
So do you want, like, Dolph Ziggler, who's a big fan favorite, do you want him losing on a pre-show, or do you want your friggin' Money in the Bank holder to lose on a pre-show?
I want the Money in the Bank holder to lose.
I would say so, but it devalues the guy holding Money in the Bank if he loses the match. I don't think there's any good way around it.
It's not really, no.
Unless they have a total like barn burner where the match like ends in a draw or something.
I mean, I could see that happening, but I guess really right now they're just using Dolph Ziggler as a friggin' card.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Damian Sandow is going to win. Dolph Ziggler is going to look good.
Right.
Everything he does looks good.
Right. Yeah.
But,
fair enough.
I mean, right now they're really not doing anything with him, and Damian Sandow is, like you said, Money in the Bank.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Cody's kind of clarified this for us. They posted a link to the match for Sunday, which just linked to the YouTube page. They had everyone confused, thinking the pay-per-view might have been last night. Oh, harsh. Yeah, I hope somebody got fired on the social media team over that, because you can't do that, guys. That's not good.
Wow.
So you think Sandow's going to win that match?
Yep.
See, I think Ziggler's going to win the match, which I think better leaves the door open for Sandow to cash in. I'm actually really hoping that Sandow cashes in.
Oh, really?
Because they were almost teasing it on SmackDown last night, because they were like, the announce team was really like poking the bear on Sandow. It's like, well, you could go cash in right now. Why don't you go cash in? Go cash in. Yeah, go cash in. So like they were really sort of giving it to him, right? And he's just like, I will cash in when I want to cash in. And it's just like they're talking a lot about him cashing in now. So
Right.
It's like I think it's getting close. So I could honestly see it happening in the World Heavyweight title match that we're going to talk about here in a second. I could definitely see that happening on this show, which I think would be good and bad. Good for Sandow, bad because he'll have lost a match earlier in the night, which really kind of, again, devalues him as a champion, probably ultimately makes him a paper champion. But anyways, That is, of course, remains to be seen. So we'll move on, take a look at other parts on the card here. I'm just going to scroll down on the page. In the meantime, Nick's going to talk to you.
Justin is scrolling down. Hopefully he doesn't drop or knock over his beer, because that would be bad for electronics and bad for business.
It would be bad for business. It's true. So we're going to start with really the matches that ultimately don't mean a whole heck of a lot, because I think they're probably already predetermined. Kofi Kingston versus Bray Wyatt in just sort of a random singles match. Kind of looks like an excuse to give both guys a pay-per-view paycheck.
It does. It really does.
I would have preferred this to have been one of those impromptu matches.
I would have liked this to be the pre-show match.
Well, the fucking pre-show match. That would be great. Yeah, exactly. But like, if they're going to do this and they're not going to put it on the pre-show, I would have preferred to see them do something like, let's say, the beginning of the night, Kofi Kingston comes out and he's just cutting a promo. And then all of a sudden just does the bat, and then the Wyatt music starts playing.
Yeah.
And then they just have an impromptu match. But now that they've announced it beforehand, I don't know, it just seems kind of weird. Like, were these guys feuding? At all?
Kind of, but not really, because, I mean, Raw, when Kofi was out doing his promo and the Wyatts came out.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Like, I know what I gotta do now. They all must fall.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's true.
And stuff like that, and Kofi had the chair.
Right. Yeah.
And then on the backstage access, Renee Young was talking to him, and he's like, I don't know what they were talking about, but he was still holding the chair.
Oh, yeah, he's like, but I'm not getting rid of this.
Yeah.
That's for fucking sure. Fair enough. Any reason to think Bray Wyatt doesn't win the match? Like, do you think his first loss comes to Kofi fucking Kingston?
God, no.
I really hope not. So I think we both got Bray Wyatt on that one. Curtis Axel defending the Intercontinental Championship against R-Truth.
That's
apparently.
But I guess R-Truth beat him
Right.
last Raw.
Yeah,
so,
fair enough.
I mean, he kind of deserves a title shot.
Right. Yeah, I suppose that's true.
What's your percentage on we'll see Punk in this?
In that match?
In this match.
Probably not.
Kind of. Even
maybe?
maybe have his music play.
Oh, have his music play. I think that'll happen.
That will just distract in order to give.
Right. I don't think R-Truth wins this match.
You don't?
No. I don't think you take the Intercontinental title off of Curtis Axel yet. I don't think there's not, because I mean, R-Truth really hasn't been doing too much to earn the Intercontinental title. You know what I mean?
No, it's kind of better that he's going back to his old self. I mean,
yeah,
he's singing when he's coming out. He doesn't have the whole crazy
Here
little
we go.
Jimmy anymore.
People over there, what's up? Yeah.
So I mean,
enough.
He's doing better things.
Right, moving in the right direction. But I think Axel holds on to the title here. I think if CM Punk's music does play, I think it will be like another one of those things where he'll go for a pin again, but Axel will like keep them rolling, and he'll reverse it and he'll hold them down for a 3.
Okay.
Like if they do that, so like almost not a quote unquote cheap win, but
okay, I can see that.
Something like that.
I can see that.
All right, Goldust and Cody Rhodes. Sorry, with Dusty Rhodes versus The Shield, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins with Dean Ambrose. Mm-hmm. This is, of course, not for the tag titles, but got quite a bit on the line. If Goldust and Cody win the match, they'll be reinstated by WWE, so they both get their jobs back.
Right.
If The Shield wins, Dusty loses his job with NXT, and neither one of Goldust or Cody Rhodes will ever be brought back. I think considering this match is non-title, and considering that I definitely don't think it's time for Cody Rhodes' WWE career to be done.
I don't think that.
I would hope not. I would severely hope not, because he's starting to get over with the crowd. I would think that the Shield is probably going to end up on the losing end of things here. Somehow. Now, I think that'll probably be due in large part to Dusty on the outside.
Right.
Right. So I think that's probably what's very likely. But I honestly think Goldust and Cody Rhodes win this match. Your thoughts, sir?
I concur.
You concur? Yeah, fair. I don't see any reason here for Cody Rhodes to never be allowed back in WWE, right? Yeah. So I think if your back's sort of against the wall there, and I'd like to see Goldust back on TV, to be perfectly honest. So I'll go Goldust and Cody Rhodes, and I'm glad that you agree.
Okay.
Now, Divas Championship. Whoa!
Piss break.
Yeah, piss break, exactly. AJ Lee. Actually, I won't take a piss break here. I think this will actually be a good match. AJ Lee versus Brie Bella for the Divas title. A lot of people are actually split on what they think is going to happen here. A lot of people think AJ's going to retain the title, because it's like, well, what's the point of taking the title off of AJ right now? Mm-hmm. Because she's the best diva on the roster, so she should still have the title,
I guess.
But then a lot of other people are saying, no, they're going to give it to Brie Bella because she just legit got engaged to Daniel Bryan. And
yes, congratulations.
Yeah, by the way, congratulations absolutely for Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan getting engaged. But a lot of people think they're going to give her the title because she just got engaged, and because it'll be a better story point on Total Divas when it comes back. And this whole concept fucking bothers me, and just by the look on your face I can tell it bothers you too. Since when are we taking what happens in your actual wrestling company and saying we're going to not only fundamentally change a storyline in the wrestling company, but change a title because it will look better on the sideshow fucking reality show that we do on the E! Network? Why would you do that? Why could anyone possibly think, fan or within WWE, that would be a good idea?
I don't know.
Like, Total Divas is not going to be a multi-season epic, right? It's going to be probably a season, and then it's never going to happen again, or we're going to wait a couple years or whatever. But why would you alter your wrestling storylines to suit Total Divas? You would alter, or you would use what happens on Total Divas to enhance your wrestling storylines, but not the other way around.
Right.
So it would seem dumb to me for them to take the belt off AJ right now. Because if you take the belt off AJ, what else does she do? She goes back to dating fucking Biggie Langston.
Well, I guess, yeah.
Right? And nobody's
Nobody
interested in that. Nobody's interested in that. What they're interested in is AJ sitting on top of the Divas division going, the rest of you suck. Because that's interesting. At least it's at least one of the Divas being like, I'm the only one on this roster that doesn't suck total shit. Right? So it helps. That helps make the entire division better. But we don't get paid to make these decisions, do we?
Unfortunately not.
Unfortunately not.
I mean, we should be.
We should be. Fucking if we did, I think the product would be better.
We had so good ideas with Justin Books It.
Exactly.
And
fucking Nick Books It. We had great ideas.
We had great ideas. If we could be on the committee for talent,
the so-called creative
team, or writing team, or Elemental P, monkeys in a room, typing.
Exactly.
Hitting friggin' typewriters on a scale of trying to write wrestling.
Eventually you'll get better than what you see on TV right now.
Eventually.
And I think with us it would happen sooner than later. But in any case, I think we both have AJ winning. Do you have any reason to believe that Brie wins the belt?
No.
Okay, right on. So we're both on AJ Lee to hold on to the belt there. Fucking fingers crossed. All right. Singles match, renewing the rivalry between CM Punk and Ryback. Of course, Ryback, the newest Paul Heyman guy. After that very, very comical segment on Raw. Like the whole, when Heyman brought Ryback out to the ring and he was like going to propose to him and stuff. And I loved seeing all the people on, the internet that were just like, this segment's gay. I think Heyman and Ryback are gay for each other. And I'm just like, you fucking marks. Jesus Christ. Like, you know what's happening. You know what's coming.
Yeah.
You know what's coming. You just like open your fucking ears for 2 seconds. You know what's coming. But you're just like, and you can always count on the latent fear of homosexuality from guys that like things like wrestling and MMA. Like, you can always count on that shit. The stupid fans among us. They're just like, he's fucking gay. And it's just like, really? Like, just
really?
Calm the fuck
You're watching
down.
Two guys with their shirt off rub against each other.
Exactly. Like,
I mean, come on.
At this point, you're worried about being gay. It's not until two guys who were wearing clothes were in the ring.
Yeah.
This is the same company that did the angle where Billy Gunn married Chuck Palumbo. This is the same fucking company that did that. And now two guys with their clothes on are in the ring talking to each other, and they're like, this is fucking gay.
Gay.
Gay. I don't think that's something that you really need to worry about.
No. God, no.
Cody's going nuts. Cody's going nuts in the chat stream here, so I just want to try to figure out what he was saying. I actually hate to bring up this company, but did you guys watch TNA? They debuted some new girl, and I actually kind of digged it. She bulldozed Velvet Sky. I'd like to bulldoze Velvet Sky. Maybe trying to recreate a new Awesome Kong. Her name is Lee Datapa. I've heard of Lee Datapa. I didn't see this because I ever since the Dixie Carter heel turn, I've completely sworn off watching anything that company puts on television. But we are going to talk a little bit of TNA here in 1 second. I didn't hear about her, but I have seen her before. I didn't see this debut. She's apparently very good,
Really?
and she's supposed to be very, very talented. And I guess people have been talking for a little while about her versus Gail Kim kind of being like the women's match, like
Really?
the marquee women's match right now.
Wow.
So I would like to see the two of them mix it up in TNA.
And for me, I've never watched TNA.
No, and you know what? You really, throughout even the whole history of the company, you really haven't missed too much. I still think the best show they ever did was the show when Sting debuted, and that was in fucking 2004. So,
Oh God, anything with Sting in it will be good.
Exactly, but like when Sting first debuted in the company, that was a great show.
Yeah.
Because it was like Jeff Jarrett versus AJ Styles when AJ was like the hot name in wrestling, and you had Sting showing up, and that was a great show. But that was 9 years ago, so it's been all downhill from there. But let's finish off this pay-per-view here.
Okay.
So CM Punk versus Ryback. Once again, Ryback is still only, I think, 1-5 on pay-per-view this year.
Right.
Now, yes, CM Punk lost to Paul Heyman in the last pay-per-view, which was like 2 weeks ago. But what do we think is going to happen here? Because this is still one of those angles where they could really go either way.
This is still up in the air. I mean, CM Punk did lose to Paul Heyman, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
And Paul Heyman is going to be in Ryback's corner.
Right.
So it's just my thinking and it's my logic.
Right.
I mean, it's
Nick
bad
books
sometimes.
it. Yeah, Nick books it.
But Paul Heyman's going to do something
Mm-hmm.
to get CM Punk's attention.
Right.
And I mean that's going to cost him the match.
And it'll end up costing him the. Okay, so you're on Ryback then to win.
Yes. Because CM Punk is still gung-ho to get Paul Heyman.
Yeah, that's true.
He still wants to smash his face in.
Right. He still wants. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what he said too. I still want to smash his face. So that makes sense, and that could very, very well happen. I don't know which way I want to go with this. I'll put it this way: if CM Punk gets involved in the Curtis Axel R-Truth match
Right.
and gets a hold of Heyman and like injures Heyman or something to where he can't be out there with Ryback, I'll take Punk. If that doesn't happen and Heyman is in Ryback's corner, I'll take Ryback.
Okay.
It's a cop-out really, but
yeah,
does that kind of okay?
Yeah.
Right on. Holy crap, we've been talking about this for a while. Let's get this finished up.
Okay.
Alberto Del Rio versus Rob Van Dam in a battleground hardcore match. First of all, I'm so happy they're calling them hardcore matches again. Extreme Rules was fucking dumb.
It is.
It's a hardcore match.
Yeah.
You know what it is. It's a fucking hardcore match.
Yeah.
So call it a hardcore match. So, battleground hardcore match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Alberto Del Rio defending against RVD with Ricardo Rodriguez in his corner. A lot of people think that Ricardo's going to turn on RVD and go back with Del Rio, that it was all just like a Del Rio's master plan all along. So that could be a possibility. I think it's a little bit less likely than other people seem to think it is.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think the way I see this going anyways is I see RVD winning this match and then Sandow cashing in. Because I'm very invested in Sandow cashing in.
Okay. I can see that.
What do you think? How do you think it's going to go down?
No, I agree with
You
you.
actually agree with it?
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Right on. So I think we're both on RVD to vanquish Alberto Del Rio and then Damian Sandow, because it wouldn't make any sense to me for Sandow to cash in on Del Rio.
No.
Because they're both heels, right?
Yeah.
So like I mean you could, but it's tough to do a heel versus heel angle, right? It's very difficult to do it, and I don't think Alberto Del Rio pulls it off. So I think RVD wins the match. Sandow cashes in on RVD. Then you have Del Rio, Sandow, and RVD all feuding for the belt.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes more sense to me. That leads us to our main event of the evening, a rematch from the last pay-per-view. Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton for the held in abeyance vacant WWE Championship. First of all, I vehemently disagree with Vacant not being given the opportunity to defend his championship.
I know. What's up with that?
Vacant is my favorite wrestler, and he's not being given the opportunity that he so richly deserves. In any case, Vacant for the WWE Hall of Fame. Hey, he's a one-time WWE champion.
It's true.
So there you go. Actually, he's multiple time. All right, so Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton. We all know what this feud is. We don't really have to go into it. It hasn't really advanced a whole heck of a lot, really, because it's only been a couple of weeks since the last fucking pay-per-view. Does Daniel Bryan win the title?
Yes.
You were very confident in that.
I am.
You are right. You're right in there. You think Daniel Bryan's got it this time?
I think he wins it. I think he wins it.
Mm-hmm.
The count is tainted.
Somehow again.
Triple H comes out, restarts the match.
Okay.
And he loses.
Okay, so they
keep the storyline going.
Right.
I mean, because like you said, it hasn't been going on for that long.
No, it's been going for a little, but like it hasn't been going on long since the last fucking pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to see this storyline continue because there's a lot that hasn't been wrapped up yet.
Oh, for
like,
sure.
If you cut the storyline's balls off right now, it's just like, okay, well, but what about all these things, right?
Yeah.
Like, these are still left over. It's just like, don't worry about that. We got this new big shiny thing here. And it's like, well, yeah, but this is still fucking
not
unfinished.
Crows, guys.
Exactly.
Give us the rest of this shit before we go to the main course.
Right, exactly. Fair enough. I can see that. I can see that happening. I think somehow Randy Orton holds on to the title. Or not holds on to the title, but gets the title.
Right.
I'm not sure how, but I think somehow he ends up getting the belt. I don't know how, but somehow I think it happens.
Enough said.
Comment from Cody nodding. Got to be random for a moment. It looks like you guys' freezer door is open. Is this going to happen every fucking
I
podcast
so.
that somebody shows up?
It is open, and that's only because the fridge is not plugged in.
Yeah, that fridge hasn't been plugged in for probably a year.
The top of the top freezer is open. The fridge is closed, and that's only because the fridge portion it serves as our technology veil fridge.
Yeah, it's basically a technology graveyard.
Yeah.
So anything that doesn't work for us, it gets thrown in the not used fridge.
Anything that doesn't work, died, or severely is lacking of work, which is at work sometimes, but other times it's just not really.
Severely lacking of works?
Yes.
See, this is why I love doing a podcast with you, because you have these gems.
It goes in the fridge.
Yep. Anytime something doesn't work, in the fridge it goes. I tried to throw Nick in, but there wasn't enough room.
Yeah, you gotta take the grates out.
Exactly. And it's kind of funny because he does more work on this podcast than I do. So, that is the end of our sort of mini preview there for Battleground. I say mini, even though we talked about it for like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
But whatever, fuck it. It's only a minor pay-per-view. If that was the Royal Rumble, we can do a whole show. We can do probably a 2-hour show on the Royal Rumble. So, but
hell
but
yeah.
you know, it's a minor pay-per-view. So there you go. You got 25 minutes of goodness.